Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The current long-range meta here in Warzone has been shaken up a little bit here throughout Season 1 Reloaded and some of the subsequent meta updates that we've seen since then. And so today I wanted to go through and break down the absolute best long-range weapons and loadouts that you want to be using right now. Starting first with a personal favorite of mine, the DS-20 Mirage. This thing is just consistent and reliable. Its TTK on paper, when you look at it, is not going to be that crazy. It's not like the #1 fastest TTK in the game or anything, but it's going to be accurate, it's going to be consistent, and you know, if a weapon's got an insane TTK but you're shooting to the sky every time you spray, obviously it doesn't matter. This one's accurate, it's going to hit well over range, and really it's just a solid, reliable choice for long range engagements. So here, first up, really the optic is a matter of choice. As I always say, I really like the lethal tools Elo. I kind of spam this a ton. However, if you like a 2 times more, if you like the Greaves red dot more, like, always use the optic you are the most comfortable with, of course. I also go for monolithic suppressor here. Better velocity, better range, keeps me off the radar, of course. I really like the control barrel here. This thing does have some interesting bounce here and there, so this really helps attack that and make that pattern a lot more predictable. Plus better velocity, we're up to 1200. That hit scan range is going to be phenomenal there. We already have a decent damage range out to 69 meters with that second damage range, so that's pretty solid there. I go for max horizontal control here with the underbarrel, again just making that pattern a lot more predictable here. And then you could either go extended 1 or extended 2. I kind of default to extended 1 just because it's a little bit faster, and for some reason on the Mirage the extended 2 reload is just like really goofy. It's kind of slow, so I'm not really a huge fan of that. 45 is sufficient for all squad sizes in my opinion, but yeah, this thing is just a really consistent, really reliable choice to start things off. Now next up, we've got a brand new addition to the long range meta, the Hawker HX Sniper, and this thing is a beast. I would say the definitive new #1 sniper in the game, especially when you actually hit headshots and don't hit their chest instead. This thing's absurd. One shot headshot at any range, pretty quick ADS, insane velocity, like it's checking every single box. The absolute meta sniper. So honestly, I like that default optic, I like that default scope on there, so I stick with that. I am rocking monolithic suppressor. All I care about here is the velocity. The damage range increase will not matter because it's an infinite one-shot headshot anyway, so I stack the velocity there. It obviously keeps me off the radar too. Velocity with the velocity barrel. I also go for overpressured ammo. Now this is probably a little overkill because we have a 1631 velocity stat. You don't really need that. The hit scan range will be insane basically every single fight you're taking. It's also going to be insanely easy to predict that bullet drop and that bullet lead. Now, you don't necessarily need 1600, like even without overpressured, it's still 1175, which is really, really good, but 1631, it almost seems a little bit broken there, I won't lie, but nonetheless, it's where we're at according to the stats. I also go for the Instinct Laser, faster ADS on here, then I go for the Quick Draw Rear Grip, a faster ADS as well, so we're down to a 486, which is pretty crazy fast for a sniper that's one-shot headshot at any range that has this much velocity. This is the aggressive version of the build. There's a lot of different ways you could build this out. If you want better flinch, you could switch out the laser for a stock. You could put on an extended mag or a fast mag if you wanted to as well. There's a lot of different ways, like I said, you could go through and sort of adjust this, but this thing is a beast. Now, while we're talking snipers, we also got to talk the VS Recon. This still fits in the long range meta just fine. The Hawker HX certainly is one that I think is a little bit more appealing, but obviously not everyone is going to love the feel of every single gun. If you're comfortable with the Recon, you hit shots with it, it's still a phenomenal choice. So as far as the setup goes, again, monolithic suppressor, the range once more, not really relevant here because it's an infinite one-shot headshot. So we just stick with the better velocity and keeping us off the radar for that. Bullet velocity barrel for better velo, and then overpressured ammo here as well. 1261 velocity is more than enough for basically every engagement you're getting into. In this case, I do go for the prestige underbarrel, better ADS speed, better rechamber stabilization, just makes the gun a little bit easier, a little bit more straightforward. Then the Quick Draw Rear Grip for a faster ADS. We got a 585 millisecond ADS, which is not too bad for a heavy sniper here. So, you know, there are some distinct differences now between this and the Hawker. It actually has a challenge now. Both are going to be great long range snipers though. And by the way, as we are going through all the weapons, all the setups here, if you guys enjoy the video, you find the information helpful, do me a favor, drop a like. It's always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to ensure you're always in the know for everything going on in COD, no better place than right here, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Next up here, we've got the MK78. This thing is a laser beam, one of the lower recoil options in the game. It also just so happens it's one of the better TTK options too over long range, so this thing is checking all the right boxes for a full auto long range choice. It's one of the best in the game, hands down. So here again, I'm going for that lethal tools Elo. Gotta spam it on every gun, just commit to the bit at this point, right? We got monolithic suppressor on here, range velocity, keeping us off the radar. Again, I go for the control barrel. That really just does make this thing an absolute laser over range. It's insane how accurate and how powerful this thing can be. Plus, 1255 velocity because the added velocity stat on this too, so that hit scan range is fantastic. I do want some mobility here because this is a heavy, slow LMG, so the movement stock here, better strafe, better ADS does make this thing feel a little bit more aggressive. It's not going to be night and day, but it's something that helps it feel not as slow and as heavy here. And then I also go for recoil springs. Why not get some free recoil control here? If you're comfortable with just the control barrel, you could actually go through and get a faster ADS from a quick draw rear grip. You could go for the mobility foregrip, get some better movement speed and a little bit more control there. So there's a few different ways you could again build this thing out. This is a build though that's worked well for me, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The AK is another really strong choice here, especially because they have updated this a little bit over the course of the past few meta updates. They made the recoil easier. This thing still hits like a truck as well. Again, just a really reliable choice for long range. So here again, I've got that lethal tools elo on there. You already know the drill there. Monolithic suppressor for the range, velocity, and keeping us off the radar. And again, here I like the control barrel. Accuracy is so important over range, and this control barrel is honestly kind of a crutch for this kind of play style here because it's so strong and so good and making guns easier. Plus that added velocity, we're up to 1248. That's fantastic as well for that hit scan range. Here I go for the max horizontal control. There is noticeable recoil on this, so I want to stack this up as best I can here. This just makes the pattern a lot more predictable. And then again, you could go for extended 1 or extended 2 here if you're okay with a slight slowdown for the extra ammo. Extended 2 will be sufficient. I've also been putting in work with extended 1 and it gets the job done quite nicely. Overall, the AK just feels fantastic right now. Now, originally I had planned the Sokol 545 for this spot in the long range meta, but unfortunately that was nerfed a few days back. It wasn't like a crazy nerf, but it's enough that I wouldn't consider it a number one, option for long range, even in the LMG category itself. Now there are some other alternatives that are stronger in my opinion. Obviously some other weapons got some nerfs, got some buffs. The DS Mirage, for instance, a little bit slower now with its long range TTK, but you have a weapon like that where at the start of the video you could see it's so low recoil. Even though it's a slightly slower TTK, we've got a level of familiarity with it. It's easy enough to use that it even after the nerf is still considered a decent option when you're fighting 50-60 meters. The mod is now going to take the place of the Sokol in this example, and this thing is great. I mean, it's low recoil, it's easy to use, and its TTK over long range is really solid as well. So this is a great little fit in now where previously it might not have been a standout because the buffs that it's got lately. It absolutely is perfect for the long range. So here, first up, elo sight. Yet again, no surprises there, of course. Monolithic suppressor on here, better range, better velocity. Fusion barrel is going to be the hybrid barrel in this case, so better range, better velocity. 1166 is pretty solid. 54 meter effective damage range, 73 meter second damage range is really good as well. I go for the mobile recoil foregrip just because this thing is so easy. Why not get some mobility here? So some horizontal control, some movement speed. That's a win-win. And then extended mag 1 or extended mag 2 is going to work fine per usual here. Simply a matter of what mode you're playing, whether it's solos versus quads or how often you are playing aggressive and fighting at a disadvantage here. But yeah, the mod is now a phenomenal long range option. Following that, we've got the Maverick. I really like this just because even though it is a burst and obviously not everyone's always super in love with this style of weapon, it's just so easy. It basically has no recoil. The velocity is great. The TTK over long range is really great too. Like, you can get some really consistent long range shots with this thing. It's a blast. So here again, lethal tools elo. We got monolithic on here as well. In this case, I go for the long barrel, just extending out our damage range. We're up to 75 meters with that second damage range, 62 meters in the effective damage range, which is pretty wild there. That also does extend the magazine capacity a little bit. We're up to 45 rounds there, so basically an extended mag and a long barrel in one. Mobile recoil foregrip, so the horizontal control makes the pattern a little bit tighter there, a little bit more predictable, and then also better movement speed. And then I also go for the movement stock here. Better strafe, better ADS, always a great thing to have whenever you can get this on really any gun in the game. So it's nice that the attachment setup here, the way that this works, you can kind of combine the barrel and the magazine hybrid situation we got going on, plays in really well to a very versatile setup. And then lastly here, we've got the AMAX. Non-BO7 weapon, really holds its own quite nicely. This thing has one of the fastest TTKs in the entire game over range. Got a little bit of visual bounce there, but not something you can't get used to over time. This thing honestly hits like a truck, and it's surprisingly good for a non-BO7 weapon. So here, Otura red dot's my optic of choice, just mainly because I'm comfortable with it. I'm familiar with this, quite frankly, from all the times I spammed it during BO6 Warzone, of course. Monolithic suppressor for the better range and velocity. We got reinforced barrel on here for more of the same. So we got a 1260 velo, again, right in there in the mix with the other options. 52 meter effective damage range, 73 meter second damage range, really good stats there. Max horizontal control with the vertical foregrip, then extended mag 1 here. Extended mag 2 would also be sufficient once more if you're okay with that slight slowdown there. Pretty standard rifle setup, but it gets the job done. This thing is is an absolute powerhouse. Quite frankly, all of our options here today are fantastic choices. The long range meta has plenty of options and all of them are very strong. That is going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out to guarantee you're always in the know for everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you later. Peace out.